Hey everybody, this is Demon Sword. So, we're going to do an overview of the jkoo sword. Now, I've just polished and cleaned up this blade because there were scratches all over the thing. More notably toward the spine and a nice little nicks here, and then one big kind of group on both sides on the same spot. So it makes me think on the trip here it was wearing and tearing. Let's go with the good and the bad. The pegs both look like this. Not the best pegging, so I've cleaned up one so you can see what just a little bit of effort would have accomplished. The suka, one of the holes is blocked. You can't always predict that happening or not, but it's something that they should have noticed and just rewrapped it, but they didn't. The suba, cast iron, is a, well, cast, you can't really complain about that. Overall, it feels detailed. What are my negatives I'm going to go with? Well, it shipped and got lost. That was annoying. Trying to figure out where it was. Second thing, it did get scuffed up and whatnot on the blade because most sellers will put like a plastic wrap on the blade that prevents wear and tear, which I'm okay with that. Good job for those of you who do that. Swordsmiths, do it, please. It just keeps me from having to do a little bit of effort. I used a white diamond polish along with some steel wool to remove some rust and scratches. As I said, there was just a bit of scratch, looked kind of like a rust buildup here. Again, little rust buildup near the bottom. I cleaned that up with a Dremel and sandpaper and some steel wool. Did one brush of a high polish steel wool, and then I used the white diamond polish across it. This is a choji hamon, which is where they dip the blade into hot choji oil, and then that burns, and the way they do it causes a temper difference. Just that's why you get this kind of cool cloud pattern across it. And it does have a bit of a ghosting coming down. If you look from the top of the blade, where it looks nice and solid hamon, then it kind of ghosts down, dips. I think chojis are beautiful. They're one of my favorite. They also are more like a fingerprint because you can't do an identical choji. You can kind of get them the same, but the way the metals and crystalline structures on the metal trigger and cause this is unique every time. So it's more a way to get a more unique blade. I did polish these since they were scratched up. I did a good job, I think. I might come back over this and do a full repolish, wet sand, stone wet sanding mixture, and show it off later. Because of those scratches, I did remove most of them. There are still some spots that are bad. Now, there is no smith signature on either side of this blade, as you can see. It's very rough. There's not even file markings. Now, the blade's price point is around, I'm trying to say, $260. Shipping is about $50, so feel that in your. But they do ship via SF, which is one of the better shipping methods of China. So keep it there. The box did receive damage near the bottom of this, right here near the kashi. No damage. That you guys see all the little pretty. I actually like the little wavy cloud effect. It's supposed to be a tsunami theme, but it always makes me think clouds with the spirals. Overall, I'm probably going to just make this my little fun cutter for light cutting. It does have an Okazaki tip. You can see that it's a more exaggerated length here than it should be. Normally it would be about here, but because it's longer, you get a slightly, just very slight amount of cutting enhancement, which is nice. There is geometric line coming up from the spine to break that off into a tip. If they don't have that, that actually makes it a nice cutter, but because of that, it makes it a little better at stabbing. Just FYI on why they do those. So overall, nice sword for under $300. Gonna think about doing some custom swords with them to see if they can deliver a better quality. And now that I know what to look for, I can specifically state, make sure the pegs look nice, make sure the wrap isn't. So this is kind of a test to see what they can do on a generic blade that they just ship out, slap together. And overall, I just wanted to kind of get a feel for this company. The seller, who's in charge of jkoo and Sino, is very active. He usually would always get back to me if I emailed him, usually by like 8 p.m. if I emailed him at 9 in the morning or whatever. Usually same day email. Not the best English speaker, but he was very easy to understand and we could talk back and forth. There might be some things that he drops, so you might want to keep in contact with that. And that's more along the lines of when you ask a question, he gives a very brief, quick answer, because I don't think he wants to be confused or mistranslate what he's saying. He just wants to make it very clear. So far, very good initial impressions for just a functional sword. If I didn't disassemble this and I used this was totally acceptable, and it would, as that one guy said, it will cut and it will kill. Will I trust this sword with my life? I don't know. Do I think it's very pretty and it can cut things? Yes. So under $300, $260 plus 50 shipping, that's going to be about $310 to get the sword from where it was to me. They do have a lot of cheap blades. They do laminations. They do custom swords. And as a few of you know, I've been trying to find a trustworthy smith that I can get to make swords of the certain styles and ways I want for my random sword projects. Now, if anybody has any questions or anything you want to see, I can throw stuff to the Facebook page. I did start a Patreon because somebody said I should try that. Whatever. My YouTube did get demonetized. Part of the things they wanted to take me out for on the YouTube seemed to be the showing anime originals, and they kept getting me for those, I guess, and showing bladed objects. But now the channel's working again after long discussions with Google Analytics and YouTube staff. Anywho, sword is working fine. As you can see, I'm going to put it back together. If I do another follow-up video, it'll be after I do a wet polish. So, Demon Sword out. Thanks for watching.